Half-Bloods. Welcome to, I'm going to call it a special edition of the Half-Blood Pod. William, how are you doing on this? We're recording on Memorial Day, so all the podcasts that don't record on Memorial Day do better, but I know this isn't going to post till next week, but it's Memorial Day. We're doing it. How was your Memorial Day?
Fantastic. What did we do? Went to Topgolf
Nice.
and played video games and went to the pool. I love America.
That is what Memorial Day is for. We finished Toy Story 3, went to the pool for 5 hours, and played family games and read Harry Potter. And that was our day. With Chick-fil-A, which coincidentally, 2 out of 3 Chick-fil-A's within a 1 mile radius of us were closed, but luckily one was open. It was almost ruined the day. Yes.
We went to Culver's and got burgers and ice cream.
I know Culver's. Yeah, we also went to Crumble. Had to try their new chocolate chip cookie, which was, I can't tell the difference, but it was good. I liked the chocolate chip cookie before. I like it now. That's our Memorial Day update.
Yep. Thanks
William,
for those sacrifices. We could do that.
Exactly.
And be soft.
Very soft. So much food. William, we're going to hit all 4 of our normal segments today. We'll just have some fan interactions. We'll have a trivia question of the day. We'll go through our book rankings, which is why I called this very special. I think, this is special to put together such a crucial ranking. And then, of course, we'll finish with the Fred versus George. So all things to look forward to. William, here's my fan interaction. Last week, we talked about how we had some haters out there. That was pretty fun.
Haters, of which there are many.
Exactly. I'm pulling together some common themes from some comments where multiple people have talked about kind of disappointments or regrets from Harry Potter. And these are real fans, people who love the book. So not just haters coming on Order of the Phoenix, And they basically talked about the missed opportunities to get some point of views from other people's perspective. The first time this came up was when Harry died. Could we have moved King's Cross to a later chapter and it just immediately went back to real life? And it started with Hagrid's point of view, and then it moves to Hermione's point of view or Ginny's point of view, and it just kind of bounces around, which the way that it was described was pretty incredible. This was from Connor Tomei sent it to me, and it was from Brett Thoughts. And Brett Thoughts is, someone I've followed for a while. He's amazing. He's got good stuff. That was interesting. I didn't think it was worth sharing here. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then somebody commented the other day, it was like, my biggest disappointment is that this was on we didn't actually talk about this, but last week we talked about, I just mentioned it, Ron ditching Harry when he had the Horcrux on, and that turned into a clip, and it was on social media. And one of the comments was, one of my biggest disappointments is that we didn't get to see Ron's point of view during his time on the run. It was so hard for him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just I've never thought of my biggest disappointment is that we didn't just change the whole narrative of the book and follow a very random time that to me has almost no consequence on anything. And I was just taken aback, but I was how can that actually, and this is a person who comments a lot. And I was everything you say is I love everything you say. This to me is very surprising. How could your biggest disappointment be?
It's a very specific thing to be a big disappointment. I guess it's relative. If you love everything about it and it's not even biggest disappointment for this is way less than a big disappointment for something that you're way more disappointed in, right? Something your child does or something,
I guess the point is, do you wish that we had more points of view? Again, we have 5 chapters, not from Harry's point of view. We love all 5 of them, but they're not from characters that we love. They're almost random characters, if you will, mostly.
They're for a purpose, and they serve the story. Well, I mean, I always thought a parallel novel would be amazing. That's why Ender's Shadow more than Ender's Game, just because he wrote it later and it was I don't know, just added more color and more stuff to a story that you had written out, and you kind of box yourself in. And then when you write a parallel novel, you kind of expand and do other stuff to it. But I mean, for narrative purposes in the book, it would be a choice. And I would assume that she thought about, or these thoughts crossed her mind, right, when writing the novel, and this was decided to be the best way to do it for the story she wanted to tell. I would definitely love it. I don't think it it doesn't disappoint me that it's not, I don't know, it doesn't hurt my enjoyment. I just, yeah, I mean, like if there was a chapter like following Ron around what he was doing, that'd be awesome.
I'd
Just
gobble
because
it
I
up.
like more stuff, I'd gobble more. But like, because Ron tells you what happened, but like,
Right.
so we know
That's fine.
what he was doing and what happened, and the TV show can show us more, right?
Agreed.
And do those things, which is kind of what we hope they will do. But I don't know. That's an interesting way. Like, I think, I mean, I could be reading them wrong, but like their biggest disappointment doesn't sound like they're actually disappointed. Like this ruined the book for me. They're just like, oh man,
No.
that would have been cool.
Right.
And it would have been
that's
cool.
exactly how it is.
I don't know if like, I don't know, like if that like enhances the overall narrative of the book. I guess it does expand it somewhat. I don't know.
What about going
better?
back? What about going back to letting the readers not really know if Harry's alive for, at least one more chapter? Again, we get Avada Kedavra, we skip King's Cross, it just goes to, I don't know how it would go to Hagrid witnessing what happened and Hagrid carrying him back. I mean, I think that could have been pretty cool, but again, that would just change the whole narrative of the book. And
I guess. I mean, like, what are you going to do? I mean, like, I guess you could find something interesting. Hagrid is tied up and sitting in the middle of all the Death Eaters. Like, he's going to have thoughts of what's happening.
It'd be everybody's thoughts, right? And then I think
but
it went
like
to
in
Ginny.
Hagrid's, it wouldn't really work because like whatever happens to Harry happens in the space of like a few seconds. You know, like he falls, he gets up, like
right.
Because time
It'd be his
is
walk back. You'd get his thoughts as he walks back, and then it like switches to Ginny once they show up, and it's going through Ginny's head. And I don't know. I feel like I can imagine all of those things, and like I don't need to hear how J.K. Rowling would describe all of their thoughts. Like I feel like hearing their screaming, hearing Hagrid stopping, like that does it for me personally. I don't know.
It does do it for me. I mean, like if there was like
never thought of this.
Yeah, if there was like manuscripts and like drafts of this stuff, I would gobble it up and I would love it. I think it'd be amazing, right? But like, I don't know, maybe I just don't feel qualified. I don't like look at it and think like that would have been better.
Missed.
This was a missed opportunity. Like ultimately it would have been cool, but like maybe it would kind of distract or hurt from other things, you know? You don't know,
right?
You know, the butterfly effect of changing things up. I don't know.
I agree. I don't know. I've never thought of such huge narrative changes of how I would change that. It would be cool to have left us guessing for another chapter if he's alive or dead, but I feel like I already had that in that buildup
I mean, like,
of something walking out to the forest.
I mean, I guess it would have been cool to like, I mean, you see it though, so it's not really like you see what Voldemort is, but like what's going on in Voldemort's head? Maybe nothing. Right? I don't know. And maybe the mystery is better than like Voldemort just feeling like pain and like suffering and like the shame and like basically living in hell for eternity is what's going to happen to him.
The pains of a damned soul.
Yeah. You know. But like,
I don't know.
You know, like it scared Voldemort because he probably passed out and basically, you know, just felt torture and pain of what he's done.
That's a good point. But I haven't thought about what's happening to Voldy.
So like, I don't know, something short like that. But also like, I don't know, like books that like bounce between like character to character to character. I don't love that.
Right. It's a very different.
I don't love it.
Very different narrative.
I guess it could be used like in a couple things, like here and there. In that specific instance, yeah, that would be interesting, like what's going on. But I mean, we kind of know what's going on. Like they're all mourning the dead. Like the Weasleys and Hermione are sitting there looking at Fred's dead body and mourning.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like they know, like, and it all happens so fast that like they're not, I don't know. There's not that much going on. Like I don't need to get more details about how sad they all are.
Exactly.
That all the loved ones are dead.
I can see how sad McGonagall and Ginny and Harry and Hermione are, or Ron and Hermione are when Harry's body shows up. I feel like I get it. But I don't know. There's some common threads out there. I also do think there are a lot of good books that go narrator to narrator, like Lord of the Rings and
there are.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones does that as well, and I think it's pretty awesome to bounce around. Yeah. But it's totally
my
different.
Favorite. It's just different. It's not bad, worse, or it's just different.
It's very different. It's very different. I don't enjoy it as much in Wheel of Time because almost always I am leaving a narrative that I love going to a narrative that I like less. They were not parallel. They were not equal in these storylines. I feel like they did a good job.
Ender's Game does that. Like basically every Ender's Shadow does that. Like every chapter starts with like Colonel Graff or Sister Carlotta, and like, have you read Ender's Shadow? I'm just talking to a wall here. You probably.
Oh, I have. I've read it.
Oh, you have. Okay, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like that's interesting, but it's basically just coloring in his backstory. So it's like there for a reason. Like I guess they could have done it throughout the whole series and like colored in more of the backstory of Harry and all that stuff. But they did it in other ways. So I will say this though, like I said, in general, when people suggest things like this, like I'm not against it. Like, that I would read the crap out of it. It would be awesome. My guess is though that like if we've thought of it, the author probably did too, and like considered it. The editor, like they considered those things and they chose the way they chose. So I don't really have anything bad to say about the way things turned out. I mean, it would have been cool though to add more stuff to it.
Agreed. Agreed. Thought it was worth talking about. We didn't have any hate. We didn't have any hate mail this week, so just thought I'd throw something else out there.
Must be doing something wrong.
I know. We'll do better this week. We do have, though, a trivia question of the week. William, I would like to start now with saying, get a pen and paper. It's not like a 20-minute question, but a pen and paper will help you, and I don't want you to have any excuses.
Oh, I got to list out things.
It's just a list of 6 things. That's all we're doing, but I think it'll help. This comes from a follower. His handle is Spain Drain, and in response to
love rhymes,
classic. In response to a previous question, he said, "This is definitely a tough question, but not a whole lot of depth." This was, I can't remember which question this was on, but we have had just like narrowing in on a tiny detail that has been the last couple questions that listeners have submitted. This one, he lists a couple questions. I'm going to ask for one of them, and it's basically, what is the standard order of Quidditch games in the season? As in, which house plays which house in order? There's a set order. The Gryffindor one's not that hard, but then it's getting the ones in between. I feel like, so there's 6 matches a year. What order do those matches occur?
I feel like there's some inconsistency though.
Yes, well, when Malfoy fakes an injury, yes, we're obviously throwing that out. Like there was a schedule change because of that, if that's what you're referring to. But that was an intentional schedule change to the normal schedule, right?
All right, so there's the order. So like Gryffindor versus Slytherin.
Yes.
So, and they kind of talk about, and then like Hufflepuff versus Ravenclaw would be,
yes, that is
the next one. And then we have probably Ravenclaw versus Slytherin.
Yes, that is number 3.
And then we're going back to Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff. And then it would have to be Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw.
So impressive. Yes, that is correct. I don't like it that I didn't go through and substantiate every single one of this order. I did just go to Harry Potter Wiki and get confirmation, but it all jibed to me, and I apologize for that, but congratulations. And Spain Drain, great question.
Spain Drain.
Great job, William. I mean, that's a
also
pretty good
on
question,
the back
right?
of this, I used this for another thing about galleons and canoes.
That was last week. William, say
no,
something
that was
about the question.
That is a good question.
Was that for Barry?
Yeah, that was for Barry weeks ago. The question, I mean, that's a fun one, right? I mean, it's deducing, like,
you did great deductions.
Powers of deduction.
Do you remember?
It is weird. I think about like how weird it is, like to have this interhouse championship with just 4 teams.
Yes.
Right.
Why aren't they playing Bobaton? Like,
yeah, it's not that hard, right? Like there should be like a Champions League, and they should be selling this like on Wizards Wireless. Like also Wizards needs to get Wizard TV going.
Yes. And the parents should be there. They should go to every game.
Yeah, no joke. Like, why are the Weasleys the team is like half their family? Like, like there's no reason that. in the movie they do show Lucius Malfoy at the game, right?
Yes, yes,
which
they do.
makes sense, right? Like in the mind of like, why would a parent not be there unless like no parents aren't allowed, which is like
they should be.
But then that goes back to the whole thing of like Hogwarts doesn't really make sense with like instantaneous travel. Like, why are you not allowed to be with your children for 10 months a year? But you know what? It makes for a good book, so who cares? That's the point, right?
Yes. Did you think of lines of like Harry thinking about like Hufflepuff played Ravenclaw? Like, how did you get Hufflepuff Ravenclaw and then Ravenclaw Slytherin?
Well, I think it's because they do I remember like deducing like they do like the rivalries first, right?
I mean, yeah, like because Gryffindor and Slytherin played, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw have to be next.
Hufflepuff have to be next, right? And then there's a line where it's like Slytherin lost to Ravenclaw, but narrowly.
Yeah. I guess if you know all the Gryffindor ones, you can pretty well deduce.
And then it's got to go back to Gryffindor, right? Yeah. Like someone's got to play back to back, right?
Right.
At some point. And then after Gryffindor would have to play, because I know Ravenclaw is last.
Right.
That's who they play last. And then the year they change it, like Harry gets moved up from, the
Hufflepuff.
The Hufflepuff match gets moved up. And so it all kind of falls into place.
You're a genius.
Ho Chang is the last
never cease to amaze
of the year. But yeah.
You never cease to amaze. Congratulations. And I don't know. I'm not keeping track as well, but I think you're like 4 to 5 on fan questions.
Yeah, the one, I'm 4.5. I did get half of one on one of them. But I got it wrong. It was a question. I did not get both answers, but that was a very good one.
How could you not remember DJ Prod writing in? Ridiculous.
Because he was a small forward for NC State, and I don't remember. My bad.
Boom. William, congratulations. And now we are on to the crux of our podcast, which is an official book ranking. What is our favorite book? What is our least favorite book? And everything in between. And I don't actually know I don't know how we should actually do this. I suppose we should just go every other, going down our list. And when you hit your book, I'll just say where mine is, and we'll just kind of do it that way. I should have had a Harry Potter trivia question with Cassie to see who gets to go first. But Cassie is sound asleep, and so that will not work. And I think that I'm going to go first because it's my podcast, and I'm just going to go first, and you can fight me after. William, this was not easy for me. I went back to I can't remember why you and I did this. I think we had the goal to rank literally every single chapter. Let me see. There are 100 no, there's more than that. How many chapters are there? One second. There's 199 chapters, including the epilogue, and I think I had a goal at least to rank every single one, just 1 through 199. I still haven't done that, but I believe I will.
You have a good...
Yes. I've got the spreadsheet set up. Basically, I put them into 4 quadrants, right? And we can get more into this when we do a top something chapter rankings. Again, I think we'll definitely invite Barry and Hunter to come on.
I will say this. The way I rank them is basically... I want to say I can't quantitate. I can't be that quantitative about Order of Phoenix has more chapters, therefore it probably has more chapters that rank highly, right? Whatever. I basically went off of like vibes. Or like I'm in some ways it's kind of a mixture of like just how I feel, and I honestly would probably change these a year from now, 6 months from now. But just also
enjoyment while reading.
Right. It's kind of a thing like, which ones do I listen to the most or read the most is a mixture of that too. That's like a factor. But again, like it's, if you ask me 6 weeks from now, I might have a slightly different order. But
I mean, to that point.
But like there are some that like I have like strong feelings about, like why one is higher. One's always going to be higher than the other, but I don't dislike any of them. I love them.
Correct.
I don't
last
have a
place is
bad
going
thing
to
to
be
say
by default.
about any of them. So,
Agreed.
You know, that's just how it is. So
agreed. Something has to be 7th place, but it is not last place. It is just
Do you want? Should we start at the bottom and go, or just start at the top? Let's go with our favorite.
I think start at the top. Start at the
You
top
go first.
and to that point, am I going on vibes? Kind of. And I'm not doing it all quantitative. Again, I have selected all 199 chapters and put them into 4 quadrants. 1 is like a crucial all-time great chapter. 2, level 2 is an awesome / important chapter. 3 is a fun, somewhat important chapter, and then 4 is like fun and less important. Because again, I don't think there's any bad chapters. We've already gone through this. I don't think Order of the Phoenix has any fluff. I don't think any Harry Potter has any fluff. I love it all. So I'm not using that per se. And here's where I'm at, William. I have the same argument for this is my number one. I use the same argument for Marvel movies, where Infinity War is almost certainly a better movie end to end than Endgame. But Endgame peaks so high, and the 40 minutes from the time that Cap wields the hammer to the time that Tony snaps his finger is the greatest 40 minutes in cinematic history to me. And I, therefore, select Endgame ahead of Infinity War based on that. And it's the same thing coming down to book 7 and book 6 for me. I think book 6 is end to end a little bit better. And I think I enjoy reading book 6 a little bit better from end to end than book 7. But the peak of book 7, when we arrive in Hogsmeade, even a little bit before when we arrive at Hogsmeade, really as we leave Shell Cottage, the high that book hits, and then once we reach Hogsmeade and reach Hogwarts, and the things escalate so quickly. And when we do our top chapter rankings, I mean, basically my top 4 all come from book 7. And to me, the peak of book 7 is so high that if I had to answer the question, if I could only read one book again for the rest of my life, which would it be? It would be book 7. That's not my only criteria here, but it definitely fits that. It would be book 7, because to not be able to read, from the Prince's Tale to the Flaw in the Plan, I would be devastated. Book 7 is my answer. Again, I think the middle chapters, we're not at Hogwarts. It's hard to choose a book where we're not at Hogwarts, as it is such a beloved place. But my limited time that we do have at Hogwarts, and just everything coming together, the culmination of everything, I have to choose book 7.
Okay. That is a great choice. I knew you would pick book 7. You are all about the finale, the apex, the climax, if you will.
I am.
You are all about that. I don't have any arguments against that. I love book 7. It's incredible. I'm not here to say anything. I'm not here to try to pretend like I can contrive some argument of why I don't have it number 1. I do not have it number 1. I've said a million times which book is my favorite one, and you know exactly. And the 12 people who listen, who have listened, paid attention and not forgotten it, Goblet of Fire is my number 1. I love Goblet of Fire. I have reread it the most. I don't know why. It's the part where it jumps off from, from the kid's story to an older kid's story, let's say, because Harry Potter is a story. This is not adult.
From a 9-year-old to a 12-year-old. It's a pretty big jump. Okay.
Yeah. The maturity jumps in this one. It's where Voldemort comes back. And I just remember reading it as a kid, and my mind was blown. I thought for sure that he would just find a new way. It didn't cross my puny little child mind that, hey, every year he's going to find a way to stop Voldemort. Yeah, it's kind of weird in book 3 they didn't stop Voldemort. It was other stuff happened. Oh, well, in book 4, and then boom, he's back, and it just blew my mind. So book 4 is my favorite one. There's so much going on. Love it. I've reread it the most. It's just my favorite one. Holds a special place. And I love all the dragons and the tournament and the stuff you learn about the expanded wizard world.
Right.
It's huge. It's so amazing. It expands the universe and just jumps off into it's what takes us to where we want to go.
Is the Quidditch World Cup your favorite, side journey that's a non-Hogwarts journey?
It's got to be. Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Quidditch World Cup is amazing. Seeing just like the international wizards and like how crazy they are. Like it's just awesome. It's just awesome. Everything about the Quidditch World Cup is amazing. Another reason why the fourth movie is awful.
Your biggest disappointment.
Yeah. So
well said.
Yeah, I got that for number 1 for me. So, should I do number 2 and then you do number 2,
Yeah,
or should
let's
we
do
just
that.
you do? Okay, kind of like a snake.
Let's do it.
Okay, number 2, I did not have Deathly Hallows. I did put Half-Blood Prince. So I
That's good. We
kind
can
of
both
weighed
talk about
between
it.
them two. And the reason I did Half-Blood Prince was because I've reread this one so much and I just really love I love how it opens. I love the beginning, the middle, the end. Dumbledore dying was a massive twist that everyone blew my mind.
Yes.
We would have been 15 probably, 16 when we read this. 15.
15.
Yeah.
2005.
04.
Yeah.
14 or 15 when we read this, right? And like that one, I loved the Harry being good at potions and the Half-Blood Prince and this mysterious book. I mean, he's macking on Ginny.
Yeah.
I just think the stuff you learn about Voldemort, and his story, it's incredible. I've reread it so many times, and I feel like it doesn't have so the chapters where Ron leaves is like a low point of the book 7. Not because it's boring or it's just sad. Like it's sad. Like it's a bummer, right?
Demoralizing. Yes.
It's demoralizing. You're missing the trio is broken up and it's such a sad. It's so much worse than like when they get mad at each other in the other years, right? It's a huge bummer. I feel like this one, the only thing that's like the part that annoys you is how obsessed Harry is with Draco. And you're like, man, dude, you're so annoying with that. But other than that, like everything about it, like it's start to finish, like it's perfect. It's a perfect part of the book.
This was good because this is also my number 2. So I'll just piggyback on everything you said. Many thoughts here. One is that Order of the Phoenix, which we just spent a lot of time going through the last 6 podcasts. Basically, we're missing so much Dumbledore and we're missing so much Voldemort, which was a complaint from people of we should be fighting Voldemort. Umbridge is a distraction, and obviously Dumbledore is just such an incredible character, and we get none of him in book 5. And book 6 is everything that basically you could have wanted out of book 5, where it's all about Voldemort, it's all about Dumbledore, and they're the two most interesting characters, in my opinion, in all of Harry Potter. They're the most powerful anyways, and I respect power, and so to me, the most interesting. And yes, to your point, we open with the other minister. We, open with Spinner's End, back-to-back chapters, not from Harry's point of view. And then we have such a clashing of worlds where Dumbledore comes to the Dursleys, and it's just such a, I don't know, unique, it's such a unique chapter.
I love that chapter. He's trying to give them the mead, and it's just sitting there buzzing on their head. He's like, and he scolds them for abusing him. They're like,
yes,
you did not do as I asked. He has known nothing but neglect and often cruelty at your hands.
Yeah. I mean, just the first 3 chapters are just setting the tone for this is going to be an incredible book. And it never comes down to that point. The second point is I feel like people are either annoyed at Harry for his obsession with Draco, or they're annoyed, I feel like, being online and seeing everyone's takes, or they're annoyed that no one listened to Harry because Harry is freaking right always and at every turn. And you got to listen to this boy. But either way, you're a little bit annoyed by that. And again, a lot of people were like, I'm more annoyed at Harry in book 6 than I am in book 5 as we were, going through all the book 5 haters. But you're right, though. There is no down. The down point is Dumbledore's death, which is the most mind-blowing thing that could happen up to that point.
Which is a sad thing, but it's narrative-wise, pretty important,
And
pretty good.
To your point, as a 15-year-old, I don't think I believed that Dumbledore was dead until I finished the 7th book, until I got to King's Cross. And I was like, all right, Dumbledore really is dead.
Yeah, true. And also, it gets lost with time, but back in the day, even to kids, adults, everyone was shocked by Dumbledore dying.
Yes.
That was a big deal.
Yes.
And the way it happened, Snape doing it, it was a massive twist. No, you did not see it coming. Okay.
It was awesome.
I'm sure there's an army of people who we're not popular enough for it to matter, but like I'm sure a bunch of people are like, no, I saw it coming. It was so obvious. Like, no, it was a shock to people. It was a cool twist, and it all paid off.
No, again, book 6 is incredible. Book 6 is my Infinity War. It's the best to me, start to finish book, and I love it.
Yep, I get it.
Which means I can go to my number 3, which
what's your number 3? Well, I could do my number 3. My number 3 is Deathly Hallows. So we'll just say I'll say my number 3 is Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I got nothing bad. I mean, it's an incredible finale to the 6 books that preceded it. Everything you said, I'm on board with it. Like, it's got some of the best chapters. The learning about how you tie in Grindelwald into this, and like the Elder One, and this like new mythology of like these items and stuff, and expanding the magical universe to other places. Voldemort being obsessed with it, diving into his mind. They rob Gringotts. There's cool action sequences. It's awesome. Everything about it is awesome. I absolutely love Deathly Hallows, and I just finished the audiobook.
Next week, I'm saying it out loud. Next week, we will review The Order of the Phoenix, full cast audio, and I will finish it by then. And William, I'm sorry, I'm so behind, but I'm happy. It
doesn't matter. It's all good.
That you're doing well.
I'll just re-listen to all of them again. But yes, Deathly Hallows is a great book. Like you said, the peaks of like King's Cross and the whole battle of Hogwarts, like
the Prince's Tale, the forest again, the flaw
everything, like stuff like that. It really was impressive. Like, I thought it was a really good twist that like Snape loved his mom,
or obsessed with her, or something unhealthy, but love is a better word. Yes,
right. He did love her, and because there wasn't like any hint of that, it did. Like, the only thing you knew is that he called her Mudblood once, but like it explains a lot about like why Snape is so dementedly hateful of Harry. But it is fantastic, and
it is.
A lot of people die. She didn't like shy away from it. A lot of people died.
And I do think like the middle chapters of the 4th, 5th, and 6th book are better than the middle chapters of Deathly Hallows. I don't think that it's filler. I don't think it's boring, which I did think. Like, there was a time in my life where like I did kind of think that like Deathly Hallows, like not enough happens between when they infiltrate the Ministry and when they go to Gringotts. I was like, it's boring in between. I do not think that now. I believe every chapter has a purpose, and we are just furthering the plot. And yes, maybe we'll talk about this in a future episode of how they could have spent their time.
It all adds up. Like, when I was re-listening to it again, I just finished the Battle of Hogwarts. They saved Malfoy's life twice. They save his life, right? And like, that pays off. There's a reason they did it. Like,
right.
You're reading it. You're like, why is Harry like just not get out, dude? Like, you got a broom, get out, go save yourself, get out. Well, what if he didn't, right? Then Narcissa, he couldn't tell. Narcissa wouldn't have believed him. Like, hey, like, yes, Draco's alive, and she betrays Voldemort and gets him back in, right? Like, it all pays off. Like, all this stuff that for these characters that you have been reading about, it does come full circle, and it all works.
I mean, to that point, I finished Toy Story 3 today, and Woody goes back to save Lotso, and there is no payoff there. Lotso is an irredeemable piece of crap. So,
yeah.
I was
would have been
happy.
The greatest end to a trilogy of all time.
Still
movie.
Think of it that way. It's okay.
It definitely is not. They made a 4th and a 5th. They didn't end it. They tied up a story, and then they were like, never mind, let's make money. The 4th and 5th one aren't bad. The 5th one hasn't come out yet. But
just think of it as Andy's Toys 1, Andy's Toys 2, Andy's Toys 3, and trilogy. Okay? Now we're on Bonnie's Toy 1, Bonnie's Toys 2.
Oh, gosh. Well, they're doing better than Star Wars sequels, that's for sure. But I like Mando and Grogu. I had fun. Haters gonna hate. I enjoyed it.
You had fun. Well, we'll take that as a shining endorsement.
It was good.
I will watch it, but I will not pay to watch it in theaters. I will wait until my Disney Plus subscription allows me to watch it. No regrets. Okay, William, you have gone through your top three now.
Goblet of Fire, Half-Blood Prince. I'm writing yours down so I don't forget either.
Thank you. And now I am on my number 3, which maybe is the same as your number 4. Tell me if it is. My number 3 is The Order of the Phoenix.
Yep.
So we can both gab over it at the same time. We have, again, just spent 6 straight episodes talking about why Order of the Phoenix is amazing. To me, it is neck and neck with Goblet of Fire, which you've already chosen as your number 1. Again, this is my number 1 where I could change that any day, depending on what I've read. Again, to me, there are so many amazing chapters in Order of the Phoenix that I obsess over, and I think there's slightly more in Order of the Phoenix than there are in Goblet of Fire. I love some of the one-off Hagrid tales. I love the things that the Weasleys do. Again, I think that they both peak so high, where Voldemort's return in the graveyard is so high for Goblet of Fire, but I also think the prophecy is a slightly higher. Getting the duel between Voldemort and Dumbledore combined with the Lost Prophecy, I don't know if it's a slightly higher peak. It's a higher emotional peak, maybe, or a slightly higher significance. But the graveyard is so amazing. Priori and Containum is so amazing. I'm basically giving my 3 and my 4 at the same time of just Order of the Phoenix, Goblet of Fire, both so amazing to me. Again, both a slight step down, really, from 6 and 7, because 6 and 7 peak so high. Dumbledore's deaths, all the pensive memories, slightly higher to me. It's basically justification, because to me, I don't know, 5 and 4 are neck and neck. But I do have 5 slightly higher. There's just a couple more things I love in 5 versus 4. So Order of the Phoenix is my number 3. Goblet of Fire, my number 4.
I like it. I think I have Order of the Phoenix as number 4 on here as well. And the reason I put it at number 4 is really because it is so big and huge, and there is so much in there to really love. I agree with you. Like, I don't look at it as like lesser than the other ones that I guess I like better.
So
right.
Close.
It's not lesser than. It makes me want to be hipster and like it more because haters are gonna hate. So, but yeah, I mean, there's just a lot there. Like, I am all about expanding the lore and like just being exposed to new things, and there's a ton there. Like, one of my favorite chapters is like when they meet Neville's family.
Yeah.
Neville's Grant and his mom and dad. Like,
Christmas in the clothes ward.
And Lockhart, which is hilarious. I just love that stuff. So, I do have that as number 4. I got the same thing as you. I do have a take though, because like obviously we have 3 left, right? Because your number 4 is Goblet of Fire, right?
Yes.
The reason, I don't know what order we're putting them all in, but the bottom 3 are just because they're shorter. There's less to love.
There is. I mean, you've already said it. They are more children's books. They are. Yeah. Again, I think you could read the first 3 books to a 6-7-year-old, most 6-7-year-olds, and they can get it and they're ready for it and they'll understand most of the pieces. Again, not all of it. But then when you get to book 4, you need a kid who's ready for death and ready for bigger themes. And yes, it's where the series changes. To me, I always say this, I've said it on the pod, like the series stops being a true children's book when Cedric dies, and then Voldemort comes back in horrifying fashion. That's when it stops being a children's book.
Whatever they call it, like YA. Yeah,
it's a young adult
which
book.
Basically means like teenager.
Yes.
It's just code for like teenager through adults like it.
And I will say,
easy read, but still a lot of depth.
Exactly. And I will say that 4th and 5th book, or comparing the 4th and the 5th book, again, I gave 5th book a slight nod, but reading it out loud to my kids, they are definitely more bored through the first 9 chapters of the 5th book than they were through the first 9 chapters of the 4th book. And I can say that it is just like a more adult book. There is like, I'm not totally embarrassed to say this, but like every chapter, I'm like, I can't pronounce / tell them what this word means. I'm just like, guys, I don't actually know how to pronounce this, and I don't actually know what it means. I know in context what it means, but I've never heard this word. I don't know what this word is, and it's it's a grown up book. Again, it is still young adult, but it is a deeper read. And the fifth book, again,
part of that's the Britishness of it is that we're American,
yes,
it's British.
Correct. I hate being American. Not Memorial Day. Let's go. And yeah, it is harder for an 8-year-old to get into the fifth book than it is the fourth book. So
it's a lot too, but to its credit, that's why I like it, because there's a lot to it.
And it's just a lot of conversations. And that's what I warned them for. Like, we're on the woes of Mrs. Weasley. And I was like, guys, this is a great chapter, but it's a lot of talking. So just get ready for the talking. So got to be ready. A lot of talking. Anyway,
it takes longer to get to Hogwarts, and Hogwarts is kind of like where it's most exciting until you meet Umbridge.
Things move.
Although my son, who's 10, who's read all the books and has a lot of thoughts on them, Bellatrix is he hates Bellatrix more than anyone in the world.
So it will go Bellatrix, Umbridge, Voldy,
Bellatrix, Voldemort, and then Umbridge. Like he hates Bellatrix.
That's awesome.
She's worse than Voldemort.
I mean, so does Harry. Harry feels pretty similar. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I respect that. You have laid it out well. We only have the first 3 books left. William, what is the number one to you of the first 3 books?
Pretty classic, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes, that's mine as well.
What I have. I feel like a lot of people say, like our age, say Prisoner of Azkaban is their favorite because it's like the smaller jumping off point of like the first 2 follow the same structure pretty much,
right?
And then the third one changes it up, and so it's like slightly less childrenish, slightly like not whatever, like, and it does jump to a little bit of like a different structure and story, and there's hilarious stuff that happens. It's just an awesome book. The prophecy that Trelawney makes, everything like that, it's all amazing. It's
agreed.
Really good stuff.
I mean, to me, it's funny because I also feel like in retrospect, people are like downgrading. Like, people were definitely posting on our original Order of the Phoenix post and all the hate on it with like, it's like, no, this isn't the worst book. Prisoner of Azkaban is the worst book. And they talked about it because of the time travel. And now, like, in retrospect, people hate the time travel. But as a kid, the time travel was the coolest thing. But now, to me, the peak of Prisoner of Azkaban is in the Shrieking Shack. And it's Sirius, screaming at Pettigrew, then you should have died. And that, to me, is actually the peak of that book. And then time travel happens, and it's a cool chapter. Again, it was amazing as a 12-year-old boy. It was the peak of literature to me. But now I just think it is a very, very fun chapter, Hermione's Secret. And yes, ultimately introducing time travel, probably not worth it. You could have written Prisoner of Azkaban without it, but I'm not here to make those judgments. She's, again, as you said, I cannot write a better 7-part novel than she can. But no, it's absolutely Prisoner of Azkaban for me. It is better, and it's such a happy book for Harry. I know that there are downsides, but he wins the Quidditch Cup. He doesn't have to face Voldemort this year. He gets a W. He frees an innocent man. It's not a full happy ending.
Yeah,
Lupin leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
he gets a firebolt.
He gets a firebolt, not at the end of the book as a freeze frame ending. Yes, it's a great book. So that's definitely my first of the last 3, which also known as 5th overall.
Yep.
What's your 6th, William?
6, I have Sorcerer's Stone, which is the most important of all the books. Is possibly one of the greatest children's stories ever written. It's incredible. It's amazing. What else can you say about Sorcerer's Stone? I mean, it's the jumping off point. The first chapter is amazing. It introduces you to the world, and it's just immediately grabs you, doesn't let you go. There's a lot of good stuff in the first one, and it's where we all started.
The Keeper of the Keys, Chapter 4 of Sorcerer's Stone, is one of my favorite chapters in all 7 books. And Harry...
I love re-listening to that and rereading that.
Harry coming to the realization, Harry having so much doubt, then hearing, kind of how that compares to Voldemort finding out he's a wizard and how he just knew it. He knew he was special. Harry had that beaten out of him, literally, to believe there's nothing special about him. And it's again sets up our hero's journey from truly nothing to the savior of the wizarding world. I think to me it's easy Sorcerer's Stone.
And then to make it easy, why do I have Chamber Secrets number 7? Because there's a giant snakes, and snakes are terrifying, and it scared me when I was a child.
I think
that's not a joke. It terrified me. And so I don't have residual fear of that. And it's a great book. It's just, it's not the first. It's not the third. Everything about it is amazing. I love the Chamber of Secrets. Dobby.
I've already
all that. But
I've already said that the Shrieking Shack,
scary.
They are. I'm so sorry for the trauma that's caused you, William. I'm proud of you for, overcoming that and continuing to have read it a couple times after. I know, but it is, I believe, your least read book.
As I say, it's probably my least read one. Why I can't really say other than just terrifying snakes.
I never read the books out of order. I go 1 through 7. That's all I do. So that's funny. But anyways, I do think that to me, again, I've already said the Shrieking Shack to me is the peak of the first 3 books. And that I also think Through the Trap Door and The Man with Two Faces is a little bit more exciting than going into the chamber. I don't know. Maybe I need to read them at the same time and see how I really feel. But I think as a kid, anyways, the peak of book 1 was a little bit higher than the peak of book 2. And I don't know, there's nothing to really set it apart. Lockhart is amazing in book 2. But again, just the introduction to the wizarding world, it's hard to beat that. But again, I love the second book. I have no complaints, but by default, it is 7th place in
by default. Yep.
William, we've done it. Mine is very easy to say. My ranking in order is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2. And that's my ranking.
Mine is 4, 6, 7, 5, 3, 1, 2.
Yours is much more fun. Mine's basically it's not lazy. It's not lazy at all, but you're right. It's hard for me when these books keep building on each other. It's just hard for me to discount the amazing peak that we get in these final books, but that's what I got.
Think you should feel bad about it. You be you.
Well, we'll see how. Maybe we'll get 3 comments hating on it, and I'll look forward to them. And we look forward to hearing everyone else's rankings. Put some thought into it. Have some fun. And at some point in the next couple of weeks, we'll come back with a top 10 chapter ranking, and we can go through that. I guess we'll probably do top 16. We'll probably do a snake draft, invite some other folks on, and snake our way through our top 4 each while not being able to take anybody else's. So could be a lot of fun. William.
It will.
It will. William, can we end with a Fred versus George?
Yeah, we will.
Let's do it. I had to skip over just several hilarious lines that I just didn't think it was fair to be like, who said this, Fred or George? There's some really great stuff. Even this one, I'm not totally sure this is like a quintessential Fred and George moment. The one I do next week, that'll be like a real Fred and George moment.
We're still in Goblet of Fire? Or are we in
We're still early in Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
Yes. And I'll read the quote to you, but basically the question is, who tells Hermione about the house elves in the kitchens?
About Tickle the Pear and all that.
Well, and I tried to look for that. I tried to pair those two because I think they're just like, the first one is just like, hey, they're really happy. And then the second one is like, here's how you get there. And he's like, hey, why are you asking? And I meant to pair those up, but then I ran out of time. I'll read the quote to you. It says, Blank, however, leaned in toward Hermione. Listen, have you ever been down in the kitchens, Hermione? No, of course not, said Hermione curtly. I hardly think students are supposed to. Well, we have, said Blank, indicating Blank, loads of times to nick food. And we've met them, and they're happy. They think they've got the best job in the world.
Let's think. I'm going to give you a 2 for here. I'm pretty sure George said this, but later in a different chapter, they explain to Hermione how to get in. They don't tell her here.
Right. They don't. That's correct.
So George says it here, but later Fred tells her you got to tickle the pear when they're having the party, and he's joking about Neville getting a canary cream. Just a little joke, Neville.
I am impressed. You, of course, got the George part right for this. I will come back next week and let everyone know if you got the Fred part right. And yes, you will get credit for both. And I'll still have another one for you for next week as well.
Deal.
You're incredible. You're incredible. Again, I wasn't sure that was a significant enough moment to include it, but you're there and you're at 90.5% now. So congratulations.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. 19 out of 21. Pretty impressive, I would say. All right.
21.
William.
Shout out Timmy.
Timmy D, baby. Timmy D. William, we'll come back next week with our review of the Order of the Phoenix. There's our boy Wendy.
Celebrating.
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully you're not distraught. Hopefully you are giddy with joy. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we need to do Soggy Sorrows.
Which way? Which Soggy Sorrows? Yeah. Next week I'll have like I'll make a butterbeer slushie and dump it on my head.
I'll Venmo you some money so the podcast can pay for that. William, you're amazing.
Already got the ingredients.
Also, we'll come this week with another plot hole, and this plot hole will be on time turners, which we touched on a little bit today. So, looking forward to it, and love you, William. We did it again.
Peace.
Deuces.